As a kid, I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. Something about capturing a moment and sharing it with the world so they could feel just a piece of that experience as well made me feel pure joy. For the last 14 years, I've struggled with going back and forth, starting and stopping YouTube, feeling like a failure every time I didn't stick with it. But for the first time in my life, I stuck with it. December 1st, 2023, I relaunched my channel after 14 years with only 377 subscribers with one video that changed my life. And no, I'm not talking about the I am suddenly a millionaire, I have tons and thousands of subscribers, I travel the world full time, I meet top creators in my industry, and I'm living my best life. That's not the type of change I'm talking about. I'm talking about the little things. Meeting other smaller creators, inspiring and helping others who are on the same journey as me, learning, growing, improving my craft, and even building better habits. Your YouTube journey is going to look different from mine, but I feel as a small content creator, it's important to share my journey even at the smaller stage because we can easily get discouraged by the bigger channels that have tons of subscribers and views. So, how did YouTube change my life? Here are a few lessons that I've learned so far. But before we get into that, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more content. Experience is your best teacher. I'm the type of person who would learn, but never implemented. I always wondered, where did I go wrong? Why can't I grow my channel? Once I started to actually implement and take action, that's when I started to see growth. I learned through trial and error. I repeatedly edited videos, scripted, figured out what kind of video recipe I wanted to have for my own structure of my videos. It took a lot of experience, and the only way that I was able to grow was by actually going through the actual lessons personally and not through word of mouth or through textbooks or through somebody else's video or podcast. And after repeatedly doing my work over and over again, I got better and the tasks got easier. So if you're like me, avoid the mistake of constantly learning and not implementing. I would follow a 30-70 rule. 30% of the time, learn from books, learn from podcasts, learn from other creators, and learn from other videos that you see online. 70% of the time, take action, even if it's messy action. You can learn as much as you'd like through textbooks and watching other people's content, but the real growth comes from obstacles that you personally go through and overcome. The beginning will always be messy, but once you go through your own experiences, your own lessons, and you learn from it, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes to your own YouTube channel and business. You will thrive in a space where others have similar goals. Surround yourself with people who have similar goals to you. Nothing is more refreshing than being able to lean on someone who is able to understand the experiences that you're going through. When you're around like-minded people, the conversations are different, they're more motivating, the way you all move becomes more ambitious. And in my experience, there's more movement in your business because of it. My closest friends personally are actually creators themselves, whom I actually met online. They motivate me, they inspire me, they push me, and they genuinely care for my growth just as much as I do for them. Talking to someone who has a relative experience or someone who can relate to what you're going through is a lot more comforting as opposed to speaking and talking to someone and venting to someone such as like a parent or a friend who doesn't actually understand what you're going through because you just don't feel as heard when you're speaking to them as opposed to when you're speaking to friends who are like-minded. There will also be days where you want to celebrate your milestones, and the people who can really understand the celebration and the reason why you're happy is going to be those who are like-minded. It's great to have friends and family who will also support you and who will also celebrate you, but sometimes it doesn't feel as authentic or as exciting as when you're celebrating with people who have the same goals in mind or who are like-minded as you. There's a reason why community is so important. It helps you thrive, it helps you move more progressively, and you also have a sense of belonging. This is the smallest that your channel will ever be. If you are consistently and continuously publishing to your YouTube channel every single week, it is inevitable that you're going to grow. Whether if you skyrocket in your subscribers or if you have slow progression and a slow growth, today is still the smallest that your channel will ever be. This lesson really put my mind into perspective because it became less about comparing myself to creators who were already in the game for many years, who are well seasoned, who already have loyal subscribers, and it put me into the perspective that I am going to get better with every upload, and with every upload, I'm going to get more subscribers, even if it's just a little bit. I just thought to myself, wow, imagine how many more subscribers I'm going to get with my next upload. And with every upload, that's what I kept saying to myself. Once I published my second video, wow, imagine how many more subscribers I'm going to get with my next video. Then I published the third one and the same thing. Imagine how many more subscribers I'm going to get with my next video. So it turned into a game for me, and it made it a lot of fun, and it made it feel a lot more playful when I am uploading and going through this whole entire production process for my channel. And take note that progress is still progress. Whether if you get 1 subscriber in your next video or 1,000, progression is better than being stagnant. Take your number of subscribers and just imagine all those subscribers in one room and imagine yourself talking to them. Wouldn't you feel nervous in a room with just 3 people? Because I know I definitely would. So regardless of how many subscribers you get with every upload that you have, if you have more than 1 subscriber, that is a win. If you even have just 1 subscriber, that's a win. Just think of it as you are creating an impact on this person's life. You're making a difference in their life. You're sharing knowledge with them, or you're sharing an experience with them through video that they're not going to find anywhere else. Isn't it nice to have an impact on just even one person? Your success is dependent on your daily habits. I never really understood this to my core until I started being consistent with YouTube. Sometimes we get excited about the idea of being a YouTuber and we get excited about the end goal for ourselves, but we often forget about the work and how much work it actually takes to get there. Yes, we fall in love with the potential outcome of what it looks like for us to be a YouTuber with more than 100,000 subscribers, but what steps do I have to take every single day to get there? It all falls into your daily habits. I started to think about the things that I needed to do today in my daily life and how can I make it easier or more fun, just so that the journey is fun for myself. So the first part is where the YouTube strategy comes in. When are you going to do research? What days are you going to script? What days are you going to film? What days are you going to edit? What days are you going to finalize your video and get it published? So that is the YouTube strategy part of it. And once you figure that out, then you move on to the second part, which is trying to figure out what daily habits you need to improve on. And I like to think of it as when I'm trying to improve my daily habits, I'm trying to improve my flow in my day. What do I need to do in order for this action to happen? For example, in order for me to transition into filming, because sometimes I don't feel like filming, but what makes it easier for me and what makes it an easy transition is if I have my batteries charged the day before, if I have my camera and equipment set up in my studio the night before, and if I have my mic out. By having all of my gear and equipment prepared the night before, the day that I need to film, it makes it such an easy transition. So the habit in this is me charging my batteries and preparing my equipment. Another really important daily habit for me to implement is actually hydrating myself, nourishing myself, and working out, making sure that I'm healthy, because if I'm not healthy and my energy is not good, then it's going to translate into my videos, and I don't want to translate bad energy into my videos at all. So the day before or the morning of, I always prepare myself. I set my clothes out for the gym, so in the morning it's easy for me to just change and go. I always forget to drink water, so what I do is I always fill up my pitcher of water in my fridge the night before, so the next day I have a whole pitcher of water ready to drink throughout the day. And lastly, I have long work hours. I typically will neglect eating at the right time. So what I do is I prepare all my ingredients the night before or the morning of by prepping all my ingredients and putting in the fridge or putting it on top of the countertop, so that when I need to eat or when my body is telling me, hey, you're hungry, I can quickly go to the kitchen, whip up a quick meal, and then eat and nourish my body, and then get back into work if I need to. For me, the importance of daily habits is just basically preparation. What can I do to prepare for the next step? What's important about habits is that you make it as attractive as possible so that you can easily transition into the next step. Failure doesn't exist unless you allow it. Everyone has different definitions of failure. In my personal opinion, failure doesn't exist. Some even say that if you give up, you fail, and I don't even think that is necessarily true. Sometimes people don't have access to knowledge and resources that they need that maybe another person has the privilege of having. Sometimes people realize that something isn't for them, and I went through trial and errors of different businesses in my lifetime, and I realized certain business models just weren't for me. Dropshipping was not for me, e-commerce was not for me, building a clothing brand was not for me, and just because I gave up on it doesn't mean I failed it. It just meant that I was going to the next chapter of my life. So if you define every move by failure or success, then you're feeding your subconscious mind negative thoughts about what you do in your daily life, or even just like on a monthly or yearly basis. If you stop something because you feel like you're not in alignment with it, you're going to think you're a failure. I don't believe in failure. I believe that there's a a lesson in every situation. So if you give up on something, or if you move on to the next chapter of your life, or if you're in a scenario where you typically would determine it as a failure, I don't think it's a failure. I just think it's a lesson that is being learned. And this lesson is meant for that next chapter of your life that you're going into. Becoming a YouTuber changed the way that I work, the way that I think, the way that I present myself online, and I'm just so grateful for this journey, even as a smaller creator. And if you're looking forward to growing your career in YouTube, then comment down below, this is my YouTube journey, and then click on the video on the screen and I'll see you there. Bye!